The objective of today's video is to review synthetic division. When you're doing synthetic division, it's important for you to put both parts into standard form. So you have the dividend and the divisor. The divisor is the part you are dividing by, and each of them needs to be rewritten in standard form unless they're already in standard form. So in this example, they are already in standard form. So the first step is to look at the divisor. If I were to set this equal to 0 and solve for x, I would get that x equals 7. So I'm going to start by putting a 7 in the box. So I'd put a 7 and then I put a little box. So I have 7 in the box. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to write the coefficient for each term, and it has to be in degree from highest down to lowest. And if you wrote it in standard form, then it should already be in that order. If any of the degrees are missing, like if I didn't have this term, I would need to show that by putting a 0 there. But in this case, I have every single degree represented. So my coefficient here is a 1. Here it's a -10. This one is a 27. And this one is a -42. Then I'm going to put a plus under my box and draw a line. The way that we do standard or synthetic division, we bring our first term straight down. So when I bring down the 1, then I'm going to multiply the number in the box times the number here. So 7 times 1 is 7, and that's going to go here. So I multiplied these together and I put it under my next number. Now I'm going to add these two together. So -10 plus 7 is -3. Now I'm going to multiply this times the number in the box. So 7 times -3 is -21. I add these two together. 27 plus -21 is a +6. Then I multiply this times the number in the box. So 7 times 6 is +42. Add these two together and I get 0. This last number is also put in a box. This one is always your remainder. Then you start going to the left from the box and mark it by degree. So this is your degree of 0. That's a constant. The next one is your degree of 1. And then the next one is your degree of 2. And you would continue if you had more numbers going up from there. Your answer should end up being 1 degree less than what you started with. So if I started with x to the 3rd, my first part of my answer should be x squared. So now I'm going to rewrite my final answer. So this would be x squared minus 3x plus 6. And this one, I don't have a remainder, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll show you what to do when we get to an example that does have a remainder. So this would be your final answer. Alright, so first step, look and see if we need to rewrite these in standard form. So my largest degree is 3, so I have 3, 2, 1, 0. That one's fine. This one's fine. So now I'm going to go to my divisor. If I were to set this equal to 0 and solve for x, I would get that x is -2. So -2 is the number I put in the box. Then I go and find my coefficient for each degree. So I have 10. I have the +21. -1, and -12. So I'm going to add these two together. The first one I'm going to bring straight down, so this is going to be a 10. Then -2 times 10 is -20. Add these two together, that's +1. And multiply -2 times 1 is -2. Add these two together. -1 plus -2 is -3. Multiply -2 times -3 is +6. Add these two together. That's -6. Remember, the last one goes in a box. That's your remainder. So this is the remainder. Degree of 0, so that's your constant. Degree of 1. Degree of 2. So now I'm ready to rewrite my final answer. I have 10x squared. This x is positive, so I have plus x. This one is negative, so I have -3. My remainder is negative, so I'm going to write minus, and then your remainder is going to be written as a fraction. So it's going to be 6. I already have the minus, that's right here, over whatever your divisor is, so x plus 2. If this would have been a positive 6, then we would have put plus 6 over x plus 2. So this right here is your final answer for this one. Alright, next example is one where they're not written in standard form, so I need to rewrite them in standard form first. My largest degree is 3, so I'm going to go 5x to the third. Then I'm looking for my 2. Here's my next one, so positive 23x squared. Then I'm looking for my x, plus 17x minus 25. Divided by, if I rewrite this in standard form, it would be x plus 3. So the number that I'm going to put in the box would be negative 3. Now I'm going to go through and do my coefficients from the second one in order. So I have 5, 23, 17, and negative 25. I'm going to bring down my first term. So I'm starting with a 5. When I multiply these two together, I get negative 15. When I add these two together, I get 8. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. And I'm going to add these two together, and I get negative 7. Multiply negative 3 times negative 7 and get positive 21. Negative 25 plus 21 is negative 4. That's my remainder, so I'm going to put it in the box. So I have my remainder, degree of 0, degree of 1, degree of 2. So my final answer is going to be 5x squared plus 8x minus 7. My remainder is negative, so it's going to be minus 4 over my divisor, which was x plus 3. And it's okay if you write your divisor as this one or the original. It's fine. Alright, on this last one, we're missing some of our terms. So I'm going to show you what you do when you're missing a term. So we're going to start by rewriting it in standard form. So my leading coefficient would be 1x to the 4th. That's my highest degree. Then I have a degree of 3. I don't have a degree of 2, so I'm going to put plus 0x squared. I don't have a degree of 1, so plus 0x. I do have a constant, that's positive 8. So here's my dividend, divided by my divisor is already in standard form. I'm going to start by putting a 5 in the box. And now I'm going to go through and put all of these coefficients. So I have 1, negative 5, 0, 0, and 8. If you don't put the zeros in, you will get the wrong answer, so make sure you need these placeholders. So I bring down the 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Add these together, that's 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Now when I add these together, I get 8. That's my remainder, so I put it in the box. So this is my constant, degree of 1, degree of 2, degree of 3. Remember, it should be 1 less than whatever the degree of your original is. So I have x to the third. I don't have anything else after that until I get to my remainder. My remainder is positive, so it's plus 8 over my divisor, x minus 5. So that's my final answer. Alright, I think you're ready to go ahead and do the homework that is on the right.